Hi everybody, Puffin here. Thanks for watching again and welcome back. Good news today. Uh, the NAACP and Congressman from Mississippi, Bennie Thompson, are suing Trump under the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1874 for intimidating Congress through the riot, conspiring to intimidate Congress through the riot. And this news just came out today. I want to talk about how I heard the news, but I'm going to save most of that for another video. Basically, I watch the deaf news program, The Daily Moth, and it's all in sign language, but it has, you can turn on the subtitles and read it as well. So I watch it to learn sign language as well as, because it's very concise news. It's about 5, 6, 7 minutes of news, and they get right to the point about stuff and, give you the basic facts. So that's where I saw the news today that Congressman Bennie Thompson, who's also on the head of the Homeland Security Commission, is suing Trump, Giuliani, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers for inciting the riot on January 6th. And it's under the Ku Klux Klan law. Now, the important thing about this is that they can be charged and convicted for that, but also that the news will come out during the trial more news will come out about what happened. So when they thought they got away with something for not being convicted in the impeachment, it may have, done them a favor to convict him in that and have some of this stuff put to rest, although maybe people would sue him anyway in civil courts. So that's going on now. That started today, and it's the news today. But I wonder if you would have heard the news. I don't know if it was on TV news. I didn't watch. But I did want to compare the fact that I got that news from the Daily Moth, the deaf news section, just a little 5-minute newscast they have. And when I went on Google, for instance, I did see it once, but refreshed the page numerous times and it just didn't pop back up. And for some reason they were giving me like 40 articles at a time, and that was never one of them. Like, it wasn't a main news story, which I think is ridiculous. So I made a list of that. I'll read that in another video, how that went down. But the important thing about the suit is that he's being charged under the Ku Klux Klan law of 1874. And this is to stop the Ku Klux Klan from intimidating the work of Congress, and it's being applied exactly to who it needs to be applied to, in the exact case that it was intended for. And because it is the Ku Klux Klan, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, they are the Ku Klux Klan, and so is Trump and Giuliani. So it's right that they're all being charged together for this and under that name. Now, it's interesting, the CNN story mentioned that it was a law that was used against the Ku Klux Klan to protect against the influence and intimidation tactics of the Ku Klux Klan. But it never mention in the CNN article that I saw that it's called the Ku Klux Klan Act. The Daily Moth did mention that, and the PBS, I believe, or NPR story, I think, maybe it was PBS story that I read, did mention it's called the Ku Klux Klan Act. I think it's important to emphasize that Trump is being charged. Trump, Giuliani, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers are being charged under the Ku Klux Klan Act. I've been telling people these guys are KKK for years, and some people try to deny it or whatever. There's plenty of evidence. I won't go into all that here, but the fact that, of course, other people that aren't KKK could be charged under this same law. It's just named that, but I think it's particularly fitting that they're being charged under that law and that they are KKK, and that's going to come out. And that, unfortunately, even though the law is from 1874, this influence has been undermining the integrity of American government for hundreds of years. So, or over 100 years, over 150 years. So it's, time to root it out and cut out this most blatant expression of it. But that's really good news that the suit's going through. And just stay tuned for my next video, because I'm going to compare the coverage and the fact that, in the Daily Moth, they mentioned the blizzard and how many 150 million people without power, and is kind of the top news story. And this, and some other news stories maybe from around the world. But they had this political news story, and Google, for instance, didn't have, only had a couple other political news stories and just a bunch of other stuff, but not this. And it's unfortunate the way when there is good news, important news like this, they don't try to let you see it. So I want to make this as short as possible to hopefully get it out there, and then stay tuned for my next video for the comparison. Thanks for watching. Oh, and thanks to the NAACP, Bennie Thompson, Representative Thompson, and everybody else involved in taking care of this and getting it done, because there'll be more suits as well. This is just one of them, but this is a great start and good news. So thank you.